Namaste. Welcome to Maithreya. Namaste, Brinda. I'm very happy to have you here today.
Namaste, Smita. Very happy to be here.
Thank you. Well, introducing Brinda, she is a dear friend. Well, she started with IT as an IT professional, Bachelor's of Engineering from Bangalore University. She has 17 years of experience at Wipro Technologies. Well, she's had different leadership roles. Today, she's an entrepreneur in the fitness industry. She runs three big established fitness centers in Bangalore. Well, fitness is her mantra. She's also a runner. She's run many marathons, Mumbai marathons and Bangalore also. Well, the 10K marathons also. A very, very warm welcome to you, Brinda. I'm extremely excited that you are here today.
Thank you so much, Smita. It's very nice, a short and nice introduction for myself. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, Brinda, coming to your IT experience, I mean to say your job, and you were with Wipro for so many years, and you've also had leadership roles to play. How difficult was it, or how challenging was it to be a leader as a women leader?
So, Wipro has been extremely easy for us. So,
Okay.
we have not found it very difficult during Wipro because the culture
Mm-hmm.
is so seamless. So, you don't really see the distinction, or you don't see as a men. So, as a culture, we
Mm-hmm.
grew up in Wipro extremely equal in all terms.
Okay.
So, as a person, I never felt, even with the
Mm-hmm.
managers or the senior managers or the BU leaders that we used to work with. So, everyone had that equal thought process, and
Mm-hmm.
as a never faced
Mm-hmm.
saying that because I'm a woman, I couldn't do this, or
Mm-hmm.
because I couldn't take up that role. So,
Mm-hmm.
such distinctions were not there with Wipro. So thanks to Wipro, because
Mm-hmm.
the culture is so much about integrity and about
Mm-hmm.
equality,
Mm-hmm.
about fair in
Mm-hmm.
giving opportunity based on
Mm-hmm.
merit and not based on your gender. So
Yes.
that Wipro was. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why 17 years didn't feel like 17 years at all. So we
Mm-hmm.
didn't even
True.
know.
Mm-hmm.
I years started grew with the organization, started when the telecom boom started,
Mm-hmm.
and the systems engineer, and grew to manager level,
Mm-hmm.
senior on-site coordinators,
Mm-hmm.
then a lot of client management,
Mm-hmm.
release different roles, and
Mm-hmm.
everything learning, and we and equally gave a lot of opportunities. So very
Yes.
happy.
Mm-hmm.
As an organization didn't make us feel any different.
Mm-hmm. That's very nice to hear. So, coming back to our question, Brinda. So you did say that it was not very difficult for you in Wipro because
Yeah.
of the environment, and the leadership that you took up was predominantly that it was significant for you, and you
Yeah.
could take the whole learning or the principle of leadership into what you're doing today.
Yes.
So you do
Very.
have three established studios, I mean to say fitness centers right now.
Correct.
So you are a leader there also. Predominantly, when we
Yeah.
look at the fitness industry, it's usually the male boss. How are you able to
Yeah.
deal? How did you manage the whole, management of your trainers and other things?
Yeah. So coming into fitness,
Mm-hmm.
it it just happened to me over a
Mm-hmm.
period of time because it was, I was always passionate about it.
Mm-hmm.
But then after coming in, we
Mm-hmm.
realized that it is not the same like the corporate world,
Mm-hmm.
because you're
True.
dealing with a completely different kind of people.
Yes.
There you have a structure, you have education, people know how to respect different levels and things
Mm-hmm.
like that. That
Mm-hmm.
wasn't the same when I started off with the fitness center business.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to literally get to the level of a trainer
Mm-hmm.
or to a salesperson, and
Okay.
really make them, first of all, listen to me. See, because
Mm-hmm.
first and foremost thing, the view that people will have is, what does she know, because she comes from some
Exactly.
other
True.
background and
Exactly true.
like that. So most of the time, so what I had to do is,
Mm-hmm.
also I had to get to their level of how to even talk
Mm-hmm.
to a customer.
True.
What do we mean by soft skills? How do
Mm-hmm.
we? So I had to be a standing example to them,
Mm-hmm.
to make them realize that, okay, she knows what she's talking. So I
Correct.
had to even go. So if we talk about lead collections, if I
Mm-hmm.
say, if people are not coming to you, you need to go to where people are, because everybody needs fitness. Fitness
Correct.
is not something like everybody going on the road needs it. So it's not
Mm-hmm.
like, you need to sit and wait
Correct.
in a gym, an
Mm-hmm.
environment that only when they come to you, you are ready
Mm-hmm.
to give them the solutions that you,
Mm-hmm.
you have to. So
Mm-hmm.
in those situations too,
Mm-hmm.
there were a lot of hesitations, and people said, how do you go and talk to people on the road? So
Yes.
I
Mm-hmm.
had to do that too. So from coming from a background
Of
of
IT. Yes.
IT and very sophisticated
So
thing, I had to
yes.
also take a lead form, go on
Mm-hmm.
the road, tap on somebody,
Mm-hmm.
and talk to them, and show them how to
Mm-hmm.
actually talk to customers, or talk to
Correct.
people, and
Yes.
collect show interest or create interest in people about fitness, because
Exactly.
in every way we need to do that. So I
Mm-hmm.
had to be a standing example for it. So I
Mm-hmm.
took a lot of training sessions,
Mm-hmm.
inside the room and outside on the floor, and
Mm-hmm.
that's when a lot of people started respecting me at that level. So
Correct.
if you really see,
Mm-hmm.
if any person used to walk in, and
Mm-hmm.
they were hesitant about joining a gym, because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the gym environment can be intimidating to people, because they
Sure.
are not used to seeing. They feel that only fit people can come, people with great
Exactly.
bodies can work out and things
Very
like that.
true. Yes.
So you have to really make them feel that everybody are the same here. I am
Mm-hmm.
different, you are different, and we all start from scratch here.
Mm-hmm.
So
True.
those are the difficult steps that I had to really go through, because for me it was all about relearning everything, because I wasn't into
Yes.
sales earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I
True.
wasn't into, because for me it was all about IT and executing projects and
Mm-hmm.
making things work at
Mm-hmm.
a different environment. And when I had to come here, I
Mm-hmm.
had to get to their level and
Mm-hmm.
show what it means, what I
Mm-hmm.
mean by talking. It's not just talking. You show what it is to them, so
Correct.
that they can believe in you and
Mm-hmm.
they can start respect. Once
Yes.
you earn that respect,
Mm-hmm.
then people will understand that she is here for a real business and she is really into the subject. Then
Correct. Mm-hmm.
you break the barrier, and that's
Correct.
how things happen for me.
Mm, true. Well, you have three fitness centers. The first one would be very difficult for you to get things done to establish the first center. The second and third, did it happen just like that? I mean, not without
Um,
much obstacles.
the first, I would say the first one was difficult, because
Mm-hmm.
I took it over when I was still with Wipro.
Okay.
So I was still having a full-time job, and I
Mm-hmm.
was trying to manage a fitness center
Mm-hmm.
parallelly, because I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't sure whether this is the way that I want to go to.
Mm-hmm.
So it actually, the first one gave me a huge learning. It took me almost a year to realize that,
Mm-hmm.
this is how, because you see numbers happening, but then what you really, this is also a business. You need to
Mm-hmm.
see whether your profitability is coming, are you
Correct.
managing your costs,
Mm-hmm.
are you handling everything, are you understanding customer complaints, are
Mm-hmm.
you working on the feedback,
Mm-hmm. True.
your staffing, right? So there are so many aspects from a business angle that you need to look at.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one gave me a huge
Mm.
experience. The
True.
second one and third one was more of whatever I had done.
Mm-hmm.
See, I built processes. See,
Mm-hmm.
one thing that I have learned career is that anything is given to me, I can build processes and make them executable. That's a
Mm-hmm.
skill
True.
that I have.
Mm-hmm.
So that I applied the same technique here also. So
Mm-hmm.
I built processes for each of the things, whether it is about
Mm-hmm.
acquiring members, or whether it is about training your staff, whether
Mm-hmm.
it is about customer satisfaction. So I
Mm-hmm.
built small processes in each of it, and
Mm-hmm.
how to track each of it and made it more automatic.
Mm-hmm.
So this
True.
helped me to implement the same thing easily in the other things. So I
Correct.
did
Mm-hmm.
I did go to the, into software
Mhm.
systems and processes to
Mhm.
handle these things. So it helped me because I worked with a lot of software teams
Mhm.
to understand, to make them understand what I want and what I
Correct.
want to track as a business owner.
Mhm.
And so a lot of such stuff happened, and it was all about doing everything from scratch, like writing in books to
Yes.
developing it into in a
Mhm.
system. And today you
Yeah.
can actually sit anywhere and look at what is happening in your gym, and you can see your numbers and
Correct.
everything.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
become that more
Mm.
thing, but it wasn't so easy in the
True.
last 10 years. Yeah.
True. It's actually commendable to see you do so many things so well. Well, even I was in an IT sector. I was with Honeywell and then HSBC for quite some time. And then maybe I reached the saturation point, so called. I didn't want to sit in front of the laptop anymore. So I got into yoga. What made you change from IT to fitness completely?
So it was a very gradual process. I
Mm-hmm.
loved my IT job. So it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't like I didn't like, because I was doing what I like. I
Mm-hmm.
was with the customers. I had a huge team. I was handling more than 300 people
Mm-hmm.
to thing, and I was very successful in that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that when Snap Fitness actually came into being,
Mm-hmm.
then I gradually moved into it, and I
Mm-hmm.
always had this thing of being a business owner, being an
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to pursue that. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I took a baby step into it, and
Mm-hmm.
with having a job plus trying to work with another partner and
Mm-hmm.
see how we can share the time and this, so that we could actually look after the business and things
Mm-hmm.
like that. So it was more a natural thing,
Mm-hmm.
and I was always passionate about exercising. So I
Mm-hmm.
never felt that I was transitioning from one thing to another,
Correct.
because
Mm.
because this also gave me a lot of exposure on how to develop systems and
Mm-hmm.
processes
True.
for this business. So
Mm-hmm.
it was very very no, I never realized that I was this long in a fitness industry also, because every day there was
Mm.
new
New
learning, new
things.
things.
Yes, yes, 100%. Yes.
So
So
that
now, mhm,
it was more a transition, rather than I would say that I got bored with this and things like that.
correct.
No, I didn't get bored of my IT job. So
Oh,
it
wow.
was just
Okay.
that it was
I
an
think you're the
extended.
first person who kind of claiming that you did what you want to do and you love the IT job. That's commendable. Also, coming to the same question again. See, women, I think they're multitaskers. They do manage work, and
Yes,
then at home of course they need to manage so many things, but coming to women
yes, yes.
leaders like you who own businesses also, to who are in a leadership role in a good established firm, then also managing home, how did you manage everything so well?
So I wouldn't say it was easy. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't easy. So
Mm,
it's always, you want to do everything perfect, right? That's the
exactly.
problem with women, because
Mm,
we all want to do everything
like a
perfect. Whether we are doing
superwoman,
one,
and yeah.
yeah, we
Mm,
want to be super. So my parents were a big support for me.
okay.
So
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, whether my son is sick, he'll be 2 years, 3 years old, he's sick, but I have to rush
Mm-hmm.
for a meeting or I have to go somewhere. I just make a call and my
Mm-hmm.
dad is available there, or
Mm,
my mom is available to take care of my
yes.
things. And
Yes.
a huge domestic support I had,
Mm-hmm.
whether it was my maids who were, it's literally that I didn't have to do anything in the house because they were taking care. I was just a provider, and
Mm,
things
that's
were
such a
actually happening.
blessing. Mm,
And even when I had my son, I had my cousins around who
mm,
took turns to help me and
mm,
bringing up. So I joined after my delivery. Within 5 months I joined by my job.
sure.
And
Mm,
I was all I just didn't like sitting at home and do
mm,
anything. I'm not blaming anything for that, but
mhm,
I really wanted to go out and do so many things,
mm,
more than
sure.
just
Mm,
being at home. And
mhm,
I did go through my patches of feeling guilt that I'm not
mm,
there when
mm,
I'm
mm,
supposed to be there at
yeah.
home,
Mm,
and I'm not there. So, but it balanced it out because I had a huge support from my
support.
parents.
Yes, 100%.
That really worked.
Mm. Well, Brinda, 2020 has been a very, very tough year, a very challenging year for all of us. Well, I have listened to a lot of my clients and people who are practitioners of yoga and other fitness forms talk, but I want a perspective from an owner, from an entrepreneur. What exactly, how did you cope up? How did you take this up this whole year? I mean, even the 2021, it's spilling to 2021 also.
Yeah,
So, what are your steps to
it's
keep up?
yeah, it's certainly a difficult time. It
Mm-hmm.
is not easy. And as
Mm.
an entrepreneur and as
Mm.
an owner, it is 10 times more difficult because
Of
you need
course.
to actually
Mm.
ensure that the rents are paid,
Paid.
salaries are
Mm.
paid. People are dependent on you and
Mm.
you have to be there.
Yes.
So, 2020, we none of us expected that we will be shut down for 6 months, 7 months straight.
Mm. True.
So I've been very grateful to my owners because I had a great relationship with my building owners, whom I
Mm-hmm.
could actually go and talk,
Mm-hmm.
negotiate
Mm-hmm.
on the rent, and some of them waived off for 3 4 months rent, and some of
Mm.
them gave me the leeway of 50% rent.
Mm-hmm.
So that worked out, and
Mm-hmm.
then one thing that I have learned in my life from, I think this is from my mother, that
Okay.
savings is extremely important. So
Yes.
we always saved for the rainy day.
Mm.
So this really helped. I've seen a lot of people crumble down in this situation, but the
True.
only thing that helped me as cope up was that we had set aside certain amount of money
It's
for
contingency. Yeah.
contingency,
Mm.
and with that we are struggling. It's not that
Mm.
I'm able to manage, but somehow been able to hold on to,
Mm-hmm.
because once this whole thing is over, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
100% sure that
Mm-hmm.
exercising, with the kind of awareness that is growing,
Mm-hmm.
exercising is going to be the most important thing that
Mm-hmm.
everybody have to do in
Sure.
life. So
Mm-hmm.
that's something I have that hope that things will come back, and
Mm-hmm.
that will help. But it's just that we have to hold on to that
Mm-hmm.
much time, and with this current situation we don't know
Correct.
how long.
Yes.
So
Well, it's
that's
been very tricky actually, this whole year. Some people do say that the fitness industry has transformed completely. Everybody wants to be fit, wants to stay healthy because of the pandemic. It's actually tricky because some people do realize that nothing's permanent, and this is just a phase and they have to get back to where they were. Some people
correct.
see profit at whatever happened, and some people had severe losses.
Correct.
So it's actually very, very tricky in the fitness industry itself.
So fitness industry has had the biggest hit in the pandemic.
Yes,
So I
100%.
wouldn't say that
Mm-hmm.
it has been very unfair to.
Mm-hmm.
I think because there is really no ministry which is actually fitness industry comes around, and there
Mm-hmm.
has not been any kind of huge help from the government. It's only
Mm-hmm.
individuals who are trying to work and make things happen.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what?
Mm-hmm.
See, everything, everywhere there is an opportunity to see, but in any situation there is
Mm-hmm.
always an opportunity, and we need to see how to survive and
Mm-hmm.
move this
True.
around.
True.
So I wouldn't say that fitness industry has transformed itself
Mm-hmm.
into. There
Mm-hmm.
has been modifications, and with all the online trainings which is
True.
happening,
Mm,
and
mm,
exercise at home,
mm.
but that's not going to be enough. You
Correct.
need to really get back to normal,
Mm-hmm.
and when things get back to normal, this is another aspect which is extremely important in life, because
Mm.
being fit is very important. I'm not saying that you are guaranteed, or
Exactly.
you're
Mm.
that if you work out, but then you're at least ruling out the chances of you contributing into
Mm.
a situation like that.
Mm.
So
Perfectly
very
said.
important,
Mm-hmm.
very important to be fit,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't contribute towards all the other things
Mm.
happening in the world
True.
today.
Yes. Very well said. Well, as women, some people start early in the fitness industry. As women who are married and who are in early 30s or maybe 40s, how should their ideal workout be? Should they start all out with weights and with the cardio exercises, or should they start slow and consistent workout?
So fitness is about five components. It's
Okay.
not one component.
Mm-hmm.
So what are the five components? It's actually cardiovascular endurance,
Mm-hmm.
it's muscle
Mm-hmm.
strength, muscle endurance,
Mm-hmm.
flexibility, and nutrition. So
Okay.
these are all part
Mm-hmm.
of fitness. So it is not like I do one thing and I let go the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about a combination of everything. So
Mm-hmm.
you need to work on all components.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we mean by cardiovascular endurance? It's about ensuring that your heart is actually performing at the right level. So
Correct.
muscle endurance and muscle strength is
Mm-hmm.
also all about resistance training. So
Mm-hmm.
what does resistance training do for us? It basically helps us to build muscles, which helps in wear and tear of our body,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Then flexibility is all about your stretching and your day-to-day activities
Mm-hmm.
that you do better.
Mm-hmm.
So then you have your nutrition, which is eating right. Basically,
Correct.
your I don't even want to use a word diet because
Mm-hmm.
it's really the most
Yes. Oh
uh,
God.
thing about. See,
Mm.
it's about eating right, and it is about eating the right nutrition which is required for your body.
Mm-hmm.
So all combinations have to be. So you should not be focusing on only cardio or
Mm.
only yoga or only
Endurance.
weight training.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you should have a combination, and that's why with our thing we have a whole process of assessing what is your body and which level is your body, and
Mm.
take it small, start
Mm.
small. So whether
Mm.
it is weight training also, you can start with just 1 kg or 2 kg dumbbells and you can
Yes.
start your workout. So you
Mm.
don't need to start lifting heavy weights. You don't need
Exactly.
that.
Mm-hmm.
So 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 people should not be looking at results as something which comes out of the
Mm-hmm.
weighing scale.
True.
It's more of how you feel. So for
Mm-hmm.
example, I would say, you climb 2 floors, and
Mm-hmm.
earlier you used to feel very tired by the time you climb to 2 floors. But
Mm-hmm.
when you start exercising, you don't feel that tired to climb two
Correct.
floors.
Correct.
Or you finish your work, come back home, and
Mm-hmm.
you're too tired to do something. But
Mm-hmm.
after you come back home, you can still play with your kid, and that's
Mm-hmm.
the result at the end of the day.
Yes. True.
So
Mm-hmm.
what I would say is that there are different aspects.
Mm-hmm.
So walking, running, I wouldn't say weight lift because
Mm-hmm.
that's a word which actually goes on to them. The minute you say, you see all these huge
Heavy
men
weights,
with
huge
huge
men with muscles. Yeah. Yeah. True.
yeah.
True.
So it is resistance training. So when
Correct.
you say resistance training,
Mm-hmm.
then you're actually allowing your body to
Mm-hmm.
build the required muscles. And
Exactly.
especially what
Mm-hmm.
happens after 40,
Mm-hmm.
your metabolism reduces, it decreases,
Exactly.
and your
Exactly.
wear and tear of your body, you need to take care of it. So
Mm-hmm.
the easiest way to
Mm-hmm.
remember is like in our times we used to have DDLJ, I would say
Mm-hmm.
TBLJ, where you actually take care of your tendon, bone, your joints, and
Yes.
your ligaments.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to
Mm-hmm.
take care of all these things. So for
Mm-hmm.
that, there is a part of, so your ideal exercise would be which will have all the combinations of all
Yes.
these parts to take care of
Mm-hmm.
your body.
Yes.
So it's at least 3 to 5 days of active workout
Workout.
in all comments. So
Yes.
even for me, I would actually do yoga one day. I would
Mm-hmm.
do running one
Exactly.
day.
Running
Then
one day in fitness, functional
yeah,
fitness,
yes.
you know.
So and do weight training for at least couple of days to ensure
Mm-hmm.
your upper body and lower body are equally things
Yes.
distributed. So that's how I would
Mm-hmm.
have my schedule. So I work out at least 5 to 6 days a week
Okay.
regularly, and it's been there for the last 25 years
Oh,
now.
wow.
So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that's
Yes.
how
As I
uh,
mean, nevertheless, I have to tell you, you look so fit. You look so, that the charm is there. That workout, what you call that workout charm itself, that is there,
yes.
can be seen in you.
Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
it makes you happy at the end of the day when you spend that
Mm-hmm.
a little bit for your time for yourself. It
Correct.
makes you happy, and
Mm.
every time I walk out and I say I'm 48 years old, and people, I
What?
see everybody
Yeah.
raising their eyebrows and saying, "Is it?"
Oh
So that
my
makes me
God,
feel
you
good
don't look
for all the
40.
effort that I have put.
Seriously. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah,
That's what fitness makes you, right? I mean, it makes you feel
Yes,
alive. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, just
So
one
that's the
second.
best part. So I'm happy.
Hmm. Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes,
I'm
Brinda,
just
I could
very
continue.
happy when I work out.
True. Um, okay. I have one last question, an important question. Well, some
Mm-hmm.
people start off with that Josh. I mean, to say they really, really want to lose weight, want to look good. And they do come in with that Josh, with that agenda in mind. 1 week
Correct.
done, 2 weeks done, the third week you find them a little bit, they're not up to the, what you call, they're not right there. There is a dip in that Josh level.
Yes.
So they don't see that results, that quick. Even in yoga, this
Correct.
is what happens. They do come for flexibility and weight loss. They do not feel motivated after a certain period of time. So how do you manage to help your clients keep that motivation going?
Yeah. So I would take an example with this. See,
Mhm,
even for me, when I was started working out,
mhm.
it's very easy to just don't go for your workout, because at that time you just have a cup of coffee and that time for that workout is over, because then you don't have the time because you're sitting with a cup
Exactly.
of coffee,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it just then you
Almost
realize
you're in
that,
the
oh
chill
God, I have to
mode.
get ready and go to
Yeah,
work now.
yeah.
Yeah, and I have to get ready and go to work. So that a cup of coffee can be a hindrance for you to stop
So true.
working out.
Yes.
So that's how all of us are. It is
Mhm.
nothing that. But then what we normally do. So what we do is we actually have trainers, and each trainer is assigned to certain members.
Mhm.
So each of them are responsible to ensure that the customer walks in or comes in at least 3 to 5 days a week.
Okay.
So we have an attendance mechanism where we track whether the people are coming. So what we have seen is most of the dropouts happen within first 15 days of their joining a gym.
100%.
So this is something that we over data and we realize that this what if you're able to break that 8 weeks period,
Mhm, mhm.
and
True.
then they will be motivated themselves, because then they'll
Mm.
start seeing the results. They'll
Yes,
start
yes.
feeling by
So true.
themselves, and that's
Mm.
what will actually motivate.
Mhm,
So here in our we have set a process for the first 15 days that there
mhm.
will be a follow-up call every week to
Okay.
the members to make sure that you come in. So
Exactly.
it will be like a trainer is responsible, and the front desk is responsible to get
Mhm,
the person at
mhm.
least for that first 8 weeks. Because
Okay.
once that 8 weeks barrier is crossed, then
Mm.
we see that at least 30 to 40% of the people come more regularly, or
Yes.
they have that feeling that, okay, when I came for these many days, I saw the results. Because
Mm.
certainly in the first 3 days you will not see results, and it is the most difficult time in the first 7 days,
Very much.
because
I mean, yeah, they'll feel really breathlessness and they have this
yeah,
panting feeling all the time as to what am I
they feel
doing?
tortured,
They
they
feel
feel
tortured, right word? Yes. Should I
so and
actually do this?
yeah,
Yeah.
why am I doing this to
Yeah.
myself, right?
True.
So so some people they go on with this thing saying that no gain, no pain, no
Pain, no
gain, no
gain. Yeah.
pain. But that's not how a normal human
Mm.
being will feel. You feel, you feel sore and you don't want to come back the next
True.
day.
Mm.
Here is where, if you cross that 8 week barrier,
Mhm,
you are going to actually stick on to fitness. So we've
mhm,
actually tried this methodology where you have follow-up calls
mhm,
and the trainers motivate. So
mhm.
I've got a lot of comments from a lot of customers saying that, we feel very good when people trainers call us back and say,
Wow, that's actually
I was
nice.
some
Yes.
because they feel somebody is caring about them and they
Mm.
want
True.
them back.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's like a small process that we have
Mm.
included in this whole
Mhm,
journey, where the
mhm,
members feel more and accountable for,
mhm,
it's just that you don't come and just pay and then you
mm,
just disappear, but you have to also see what it is. And if you have to
mm.
see a result, you need a minimum 4 to 8 weeks to see
Of
a
course.
result and to
Yes.
become. more regular into
Yes,
exercise.
this was very, very insightful, Brinda. Very insightful. I mean to say, I can really, really feel why some of my clients didn't come back. I mean
Yeah,
to say,
that's the
why they
only
didn't
way.
feel motivated enough.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
And I'll go back to one of my own personal experience that I
Mm-hmm,
had when I started working out. So
mm-hmm,
the first thing that I actually went on site to
mm-hmm,
US, and I was
mm-hmm,
working out, and first thing that I went is this: I wanted to explore a place, and I went to join a gym at that
mm-hmm.
point of time.
Okay.
So, and what I learned from there was,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know how to use an equipment because it was all new
Of
for
course,
me at that
yes.
point of time.
Mm-hmm,
And I signed up for personal training at that time for
mm-hmm.
a week because,
Okay.
it's very expensive there
Yes,
on personal
yes,
training.
yes,
But
yes.
then if you don't go for it, then you don't know what you're doing. You're,
Mm,
simply going in there and wasting your time.
mm.
That's when that trainer actually gave me that, theory of 8 weeks, which
Oh.
I didn't, and that's when I realized, it's so difficult. So he first day he gave me small exercises. He made
Mm-hmm,
me introduce all the equipments. Then he
mm-hmm.
made me go through a little bit of everything. And he said, tomorrow you are going to feel sore. So
Oh,
don't stop.
he's
So
prepared you. Yeah.
yeah, so mentally I was prepared. He said,
Mm,
tomorrow you're going to feel this, tomorrow, but don't. So
mm,
then I also got a message from him in the next day saying that I'm your trainer waiting for you, come
mm.
back. So those were the
Correct.
small things that he did, which actually,
Mm,
even after 25 years, I remember that, this is what
true.
happened to me at that time.
Yeah, true. And
That,
even in
that,
yoga, we say, 21 days is the period for
yes,
any habit to
any habit,
become a lifestyle. So it's
yes,
really, really makes a difference.
yeah.
Yeah. So, Brinda, one last question before you go. Can you tell us three golden rules to follow before we open our own fitness center?
Okay. So, what I would consider is that there are three aspects to it. So,
Mm-hmm,
you need to know that you have to market yourselves very well,
mm-hmm,
that you have to be good in actually saying that you are also out there,
mm-hmm.
right? So, today, in today's scenario, we always actually look at anything that is marketed only. We don't really look at anything which is not marketed.
Sure.
From brushing your teeth to
Mm-hmm,
using the soap to
mm-hmm.
using the clothes that you wear,
Yes.
everything is marketed and it has to be seen out there in the market.
Mm-hmm,
So that's one part of it.
mm-hmm,
Second part is coming to the sales aspect. So
mm-hmm,
you need to be very, very clear on what you are actually selling.
mm-hmm,
Whom are you selling to? Who are your customers? Who are your target audience? You
mm-hmm,
need to be very clear on that.
mm-hmm,
And you need to be a solution to somebody's problem. So you need to
mm-hmm.
look at it more from that angle. The
Correct.
third and the most important aspect is you need to really know how to cut, no, I wouldn't say cut down, how to actually
Mm-hmm.
manage your expenses,
True.
because most of the business people
Mm-hmm.
fail in this aspect, because your top line may be very good, but if you're
Correct.
not really looking at your expenses, which is your
Mm-hmm.
bottom line,
Mm-hmm.
then your profitability gets hugely impacted.
Mm-hmm.
And before you realize, you may not even be there in the business. So it's
Correct.
very, very important
Mm-hmm.
aspect to understand your profits. You're
Mm-hmm.
looking at your operational cost.
Mm-hmm.
What is your spending? Is there
Mm-hmm.
a way to optimize it? These are the things that you need to look at.
Mm-hmm. Wow, very, very well said, Brinda. I mean, this it is so insightful and such important, but subtle points that you mentioned, which is going to significantly change the outlook of business itself. Well, can I ask you who's your inspiration? Because I think you are my inspiration from today.
Oh,
I can see that that motivation and whatever you're doing, it's commendable.
yeah. So I would say, first of all, very, very inspired by Mr. Azim Premji.
Okay.
Extremely simple person
Mm-hmm.
and very down to earth, and
Mm-hmm.
the way he looked at business, the way he looked at his employees.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something which till date has been, we have high, and anybody coming out of that organization has
Mm-hmm.
high regards for that person, because
Person.
he is
Mm.
so simple as a human being. So even
Yes.
when he travels,
Mm-hmm.
earlier he used to travel economy class, because he used to say, why do you have to spend more money, and all my employees travel economy class, and it doesn't make me any different to go in a business class, when he could actually do it, because it's
Correct.
his company and he could do it. But that's
Yes.
the simplicity of the person, very humble, and integrate, highly
Highly,
integrity
yes.
oriented.
True.
So those are the things that we learned early on in our careers. And the second person is my mom. So my mother is
Wow.
a huge thing.
Mm.
Though she has been housewife, she's been extremely, extremely careful and understanding of how to manage finances
True.
at a house level. So I've
Mm.
seen her, and the golden rule she always told me is like, if you earn 10,000 rupees,
Mm.
save 5,000 rupees.
Correct.
50% is always your saving. So
Oh, wow.
50% spend and 50% you save. And
Mm-hmm.
that's actually helped me in my whole career, my business, everything. So I don't get overwhelmed with the high sales of
Correct.
January, and
Yeah.
I don't get depressed with low sales
Mm.
of December.
Mm.
So it's how you manage your
Mm.
cash flow and understanding.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
think your
really
mom
wonderful.
also is super proud to see you today where you are, being successful as a woman entrepreneur, a leader. You are guiding so many people in the right direction. So happy that you're here today. And of course, it was justice to bring you here today because of Maithreya. The tagline says, own your story. That I can see that you have owned your story so well. You're telling it so well today to all of us. That's inspiring. Thank you for coming in today, Brinda. I'm extremely humble. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was great talking to you, Smita. Thank you.
Thank you.